Is this sentence objective or subjective? Modern technology has significantly improved our quality of life. While these two terms are opposite to each other, people mistakenly think that they are synonymous. If you want to understand the differences between objectivity and subjectivity, stay tuned until the end. When I determine the sentence, I will provide a simple reason. In a world where information is constantly bombarding us from all angles, it is more important than ever to be able to discern between these two modes of thinking. Subjectivity refers to the personal, individual perspective that each of us brings to the table. It is influenced by our emotions, experiences, and beliefs, and can vary widely from person to person. Objectivity, on the other hand, is the ability to view a situation or issue from a neutral, unbiased standpoint, free from personal biases or emotions. Let's look at some modern examples from the 20th century to illustrate the difference between subjectivity and objectivity. Take, for instance, the civil rights movement in the United States. From a subjective standpoint, African Americans were fighting for their basic human rights and dignity, a deeply personal and emotional struggle. Objectively, however, the movement can be seen as a fight for equality and justice, a universal issue that transcends individual experiences. Another example is the development of the atomic bomb during World War II. From a subjective perspective, the scientists involved in Manhattan Project may have felt a sense of duty to their country and a desire to the end of the war. Objectively, however, the use of such a destructive weapon raises ethical and moral questions that go beyond personal feelings or motivations. Let's increase our learning and practice efforts. Objectivity refers to a viewpoint that is based on facts, evidence, and impartiality. For example, an objective statement could be, in the early 20th century, modern architecture emphasized clean lines, functional design, and the use of new materials such as steel and glass. Objectivity seeks to eliminate personal biases and emotions from the analysis or interpretation of information. Objective statements are often verifiable and can be supported by evidence or logical reasoning. Subjectivity refers to a viewpoint that is influenced by personal opinions, feelings, and experiences. For example, a subjective statement could be, in my opinion, the modern art movement of the early 20th century was a radical departure from traditional artistic styles, embracing abstraction and challenging established norms. Subjectivity acknowledges the influence of individual perspectives and emotions in shaping opinions or interpretations. Subjective statements are often based on personal experiences or values and may vary from person to person. Now it's your turn to analyze whether this statement is subjective or not. It is subjective or objective. Why? The modernist literature of the early 20th century is superior to all other literary movements. It is subjective rather than objective. Here's why. The use of the term superior indicates a personal opinion or performance rather than an objective fact. What may be considered superior in literature is subjective and open to interpretation. Different literary movements have their own unique qualities and contributions, and it is a matter of personal judgment to determine which is superior. Absence of empirical evidence. Without concrete evidence or objective standards, it remains a subjective opinion rather than an objective assessment. Here's another example for you to analyze. Modern technology has significantly improved our quality of life. It is subjective rather than objective. Here's why. This statement expresses an opinion about the impact of modern technology on the quality of life. The perception of whether technology has improved our quality of life can vary from person to person based on individual experiences, values, and perspectives. This statement does not have universal agreement or consensus. Different individuals may have different perspectives on the impact of modern technology on their quality of life. Some may argue that it has improved their lives, while others may hold the contrasting view. Now it's your turn to determine whether this statement is subjective or objective. Why? Comment for me in the comment section below. Modern art is superior to classic art. Actually, if I am talking a lot about modern things, it's because the next video is about the modern movement that transformed the world, something that Virginia Woolf wrote about. In or about December 1910, human character change. Don't miss the next video. Bye!